doing, brothers and sisters? My name is Matthew. I'm the oldest brother of Marquise. He asked me to um, be on tonight because him and I had this discussion. Um, so I'm glad to see everybody on. Let me just give you my opinion. And my brother and I spoke about this earlier this week. And I was trying to let him know, everybody have a different perception of culture. Everybody have a different perception of hip hop. Everybody have a different perception. Now I'm old school. I'm 56 years old. And I grew up in the Bronx, grew up in Edenwald Projects. So when hip hop first came out, or hip hop itself, we talking about old school hip hop, the way it was in the 70s and 80s. Now, when you talk about the five cultures or the five cultures of hip hop, like you said, these young brothers today, they don't give a crap about hip hop. It's all about the money, right?
The element.
So, and I think it's up to us to make it relevant again, right? We have to do something to make it relevant because it's history in everything that you do, right? So we have to figure out how to make it relevant again, right? What can we do, or what can the old school hip hop artists do to make it relevant again? And that's, you got to reinvent the wheel. And that's something that we need to probably discuss, talk about. How can we make hip hop from the 70s and 80s relevant now in 2021? What can we do?
Because like I said, I'll be in these studios with these younger artists. What it is and what I hear and see today is, if you listen to these so-called new producers, all they doing is taking music
samples
and putting drums on top of old hip hop tracks, old samples. It's nothing changed. It's just the person that changed. Now you just have to make it relevant enough to these kids or to these older adults like ourselves to like this music. All right, prime example, Heartbeat. If you take Heartbeat and you get one of these young producers, here, do something with this break right here. And then you get a artist, an old school artist, all right, that is relevant as far as rhymes. You got something. That's the only key thing to this when it comes to this music is you have to keep up with the times. If you're rhyming choppy like it was back when we was growing up and try to keep up with all this gibberish that's going on, you ain't gonna make it.
Yo, Clefmatic. I want Clefmatic to chime in because he's a young, intelligent brother, but he got a lot of knowledge. But before that, and we're gonna all get back to it. Y'all all come back to the music business. Everything y'all saying comes back to the music business. I'm talking culture because, like I told Rodney, there's a fan base for Cold Crush, Flash, Furious 5. There's a fan base, but like you said, Wes, it just ain't nobody putting up the money for that type of concert. So it's not a young man's game because it's a culture. There's a fan base. Would you go see Funky 4 West at the Coliseum?
I would, because I grew up with that music.
So you're part of the fan base.
Let me give you an understanding though, Marquise. You got to realize this. Kids that's 20, 30, even 40 years old, they never heard Cold Crush. So you got to remember this. In order for them to test that waters to the music, they have to hear this. We have to come back. Rodney said something earlier in the beginning about Wild Style. All right. If we would educate these young kids now to this, they never seen it. So it's something new to them. And they said, wow, that's where hip hop came from. Oh, I want to go back. And they'll go back on YouTube, listening to this music. They'll go back to wherever they got. Then they'll do their homework. That's the problem. We not educating them to the culture or to the music industry when it comes to this older music. See,
and that's only if they're real connoisseurs. You know what I mean? Because everybody is not interested in how it started. Everybody, if you right now, you get money off this game, you ain't thinking about how, like I just told you, T.I. said I wasn't there. You know what I mean? And just walked away. He wasn't even trying to even have a dialogue with me. Right?
Yo, Clefmatic, what's your perception, man? How you see, because I know we consider old school from our radio show, and you hip to what's going on now. So I want your perception, Clefmatic.
I really wanted to jump in before with something I heard that they said I disagreed on, but
Go ahead. You can speak up, brother.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, what up?
Yeah.
Man?
Okay, yeah, I really wanted to jump in earlier, but they haven't really said anything I've disagreed with yet. My dad, he showed me all those movies growing up, Beat Street, Wild Style, and I had the appreciation and the knowledge, like as I said, like growing up with it, and even being at the radio station trying to explain to the other DJs and stuff that like what's going on, even what they're trying to do. I'm like, how are you trying to learn to scratch, but you don't know who Tony Tone is, you don't know who Grandmaster Flash is, you don't know who DJ Jazzy Jeff is, and it's now I feel like it's a weird amalgamation of people having talent and trying to get on, and people knowing that like I just want to do this because this is who I am, and that's kind of where everything is like all messed up right now.
I can dig it. And who else is there? Junebug, you there? Because I want everybody to put their input, because when I come back, I'm gonna come back strong now. So I want everybody to get their input. What's up, Bob?
Okay.
You see,
Peace.
you see
How
what
y'all doing? I'm sorry.
Introduce yourself, man. Introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name is Nate. How y'all everybody doing? AKA Junebug. How y'all doing?
How's it
What
going?
up, Junebug?
All right. Well, I mean, I look at it from a whole different perspective, because I remember when they said hip hop wouldn't make it. I remember when they refused to even have anything to do with hip hop. I think us as people, we don't know what we have. We don't know what we have. We don't know what we doing with what we have. In my eyes, I believe hip hop has been hijacked. It is not the way it's supposed to be. Hip hop is just as much as worth as gold, maybe even oil. And that's something that we created. But we do not stand on the dollar that it gives us in return, because we use it for other angles than the angle it's supposed to be used for. And that's us. That is the struggle. That is everything we came from. That is our whole existence. So, we really have to understand what's really going on, because it's bigger than the money on hip hop. It's bigger than, I mean, you gotta ask yourself, why do they show you images of our culture? Because it's tainted. And the only way that we're going to snatch it back is we have to show images of what real hip hop is. So when you do ask T.I. that question, he can snap right to it, because he's seen the visual. These kids nowadays, they have to see things. We grew up in a little different era. They need to see things. And we have the power. If we haven't seen what hip hop has done from the beginning up until now, when they said it will never last, they tried to boycott, they did everything. They shut groups down that had the power. But we let them infiltrate it for the dollar, for the mighty dollar, and give out an image. Like I was watching a video where what's the young rapper name? WAP, Cardi B.
Megan.
Cardi B with the WAP. Very nice song, depending on what your message is and who you're talking to. Because her little daughter came in and she had to hurry up and turn the song off. And I said, wait a minute. I have daughters. I want my daughters to hear what you got to say, young sister. But you're not saying nothing productive. We are held accountable for that. And we got to start holding ourselves accountable for the way that hip hop is going. We cannot trust anybody else. We cannot do it for a dollar. It's bigger than a dollar. It has no value. Hip hop is so big, it is beyond the value of any monetary system, because we all feel it right here. And we allow them to manipulate us and infiltrate something that is very dear to each and every one on planet Earth can relate to hip hop. So, we have a lot of soul searching to do, regarding ourselves. Everything wrong with us is going to lead back to us. And hip hop is worth more than gold. So we have to understand the depth.
Now, you made a lot of valid points, right? Some of the stuff is beyond our control, right? And that means, in other words, right now, the only thing that they putting out is stuff that is self-genocide. It's killing the people. Like that WAP song. That should never be out for anybody to listen to. It should be censored. It should, you know what I mean? Back in the day, they used to have censored on it, you know, and you'd be like, ooh, that's a record with dirty words on it and whatever. You don't have that. You don't have that now. Why? Because not only is the industry promoting that, they promoting it because it's killing our people, right? You put out any conscious music and all of that, it do all right. It don't do as well as that dirty stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what we gravitate to, right? Now, the funniest thing is, like, you get around some young people. Now, you might see a young family. Sister might be in her early mid-20s, right? And she got kids. But this the kind of stuff she listening to, so they hear it. You understand what I'm saying? So now, not only is she poisoning herself, she poisoning her children. Because her children is learning that. Now that her children have learned the words to that before they even learn how to spell their own name.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying?
Let me ask a question, bro.
You muted Marquise.
How do we make it relevant then? You know, how do we teach these young brothers and sisters and to give them a tutorial on what hip hop's about, old school hip hop? What do we do? How do you do it?
Well, what do you have to do is not only teach your children, but you got to teach their friends. So when they around you, you got to scoop them, right? Because each one teach one. That's how that worked, right? In our day, we had older cats who put us on to whatever, right? That's how we learn, right? So now if we not teaching, right, they gonna learn whatever they learn on their own, right? I got a 12-year-old grandson, right? He's smoking weed and watching porno. He 12 years old. He 12 years old. That means somebody ain't teaching him what he need to know.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
now
it's media teaching him. You know what I mean? Now, if he around people who smoking, then he gonna think it's all right.
Right. Correct.
Get what I'm saying? Each one teach one. Fruit don't fall far from the tree. I don't care how you slice it.
It never does.
You know what I mean? So if you doing dirt, your children gonna end up doing dirt because they see you do it. You get what I'm saying? If you going to work and you know what I mean, you setting examples, then they follow your example. And if you ain't there, then they gonna follow somebody's example.
But going back to the fruit of the tree, the fruit, the way we come from, did not teach us to act like this.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So if we wasn't taught that, then it's our responsibility to teach the ones who come after us. And if we ain't teaching them, they not gonna know. And if they don't know, listen, whatever happens to them ain't their fault. It's our fault because we knew better. Now listen, here. If you standing on the corner, right? You just stand on the corner with your friends, and then you hear gunshots, right? That could be around the corner. You just hear gunshots. Your son, your daughter, getting ready to go around that corner. What you gonna say to them? If you go around there, be careful. They around there, or maybe don't go around there, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. Now, somebody else kid walking around there. You don't know this kid from a hole in the wall. Are you going to give that same child that information that you got, or you just ain't gonna say it ain't my kid, so it ain't my business?
No, ain't nobody going around the corner.
No, I'm saying, but most of us are on, it ain't my kid, it ain't my business. So
that's the problem.
Go. Get what I'm saying? So that's where we not each one teach one. That's where the village is not raising the children no more.
Right.
Because when you was coming up, right? If you was on the block doing something you ain't had no business, and any adult that seen you, that knew you, hey, come over here. What are you doing? Right?
Come over here. Come
You
over
know,
here.
if they saw you, right? If they saw you, they're gonna tell you come here, and if they close enough to you, they're gonna grab you by your collar.
You getting dealt with right there on the spot.
No, I got you. And not only that, I'm saying if they know you, they're gonna deal with you, right? And then they're gonna take you home, or they're gonna call your parent or whatever. So when you get home, you're gonna get it again. Right? That ain't happening now. That is not happening. Everybody minding their business. That ain't mine. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So if we ain't teaching them, they're not gonna learn.
How are we gonna teach them?
It's through, like I said,
being taught.
It comes.
If you cuss your mama out, grandma cuss my mama out.
There you go.
There you go.
My aunt over here saying kids is watching. Like if you as an adult cuss your mama out, then them as children gonna cuss you out.
Yeah, that's a fact.
No respect. Marquise, your mic is muted. Unmute your mic.
And I don't mean to dominate this conversation, but I'm passionate.
I'll dominate it.
Hit the red button.
Well, Rodney, the biggest thing right now, and Matthew asked the question of how we to do this. We got to do like these young kids do. We gotta take over the internet. Somebody that's internet savvy, a young kid, grab them and do these type of interviews. Like right now, Fat Joe doing these interviews, and he's doing artists from the mid '80s up to the 2000s. Right. So we need to take somebody who's a journalist, not even journalist, that does the same thing. It could be an older artist, and take these older artists to educate them.
Fat Joe should not only be doing mid '80s up, he should be doing the whole culture.
The whole hip hop culture.
Let me chime in real quick, y'all. Now listen, I want to touch your Clefmatic. I want you to come through too. Is there anybody else that didn't speak yet? Because I can't see everybody.
Just
all right. So
scroll your screen over. You can see. Yeah, scroll your screen.
It's only 7 of us.
All right. So listen, I want to get back to the original between culture and music business. Okay, everything y'all talking about always comes back to the music business. With Cardi B and Fat Joe and all of that. That's music business stuff. We know in the hip hop culture, women don't speak like that. Sha-Rock became Sha-Rock because she had rhymes, she had lyrics. She didn't have to show her skin or talk about that. She can go head to head lyrically with any dude. That's why Sha-Rock is Sha-Rock. So we're gonna talk culture. We ain't gonna talk about music business.
Right.
But that's
okay. That stuff y'all talking. That stuff y'all talking. It's always the root which y'all bringing up. Always come back to the music business. We talking strictly hip hop culture.
Well, but it's all synonymous.
And you say and y'all keep saying the kids. And y'all keep saying the kids don't want to hear it. Y'all giving the kids too much powers. It's okay if they don't know. You know why it's okay if they don't know? Because of when they were born and where they were born. T.I. is from Atlanta. You can't expect him to know who Rodney C is. It's okay if you don't know.
Why not? I bet you he know who the Beatles are. I bet you he know who the Rolling Stones are. I bet you he know who Hall & Oates are. So why he ain't supposed to know who I am?
Let me tell you why.
He has a point.
Because in the beginning, it was only one place you could go for hip hop, and that was the Bronx. So from the get-go, it had to grow. It wasn't worldwide automatically. It had to grow. It wasn't like rock and roll or jazz where it was worldwide right across. And let me tell you another reason why. I'm gonna tell you the main reason why, Rod. In other genres of music, there are so many people that made it what it is. But in hip hop, there's only a handful of people that made it what it is. And you're one of them.
That's not true.
You're one of them.
That's not true.
And hold on. And not only that, y'all records, hip hop wasn't getting played on the radio that much. So how would he know if y'all records ain't being played? How would he know? He's from
wasn't.
Atlanta.
He wasn't even born back then anyway.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So how is he supposed to know?
But that has a lot to do with DJs as well. So now DJs are not playing the classics, and of course you're not gonna know them. I tip my hat to LL. You know what I mean, for that Rock the Bells thing, because I get checks now. You know what I mean? Because he playing Funky 4 tracks. You know what I mean? And I'm getting checks from that now. You know what I mean? But that's one station. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know the DJs who's playing it. You know what I mean? But it's getting played, right? Now, this whole thing is exposure, right? As much as you expose. Who is the most exposed artist right now?
Are you going back to the music business again?
Yeah, that's all we got. Because if we listen, anything
that's where we disagree.
Anything before the music business, people don't know about. Unless you our age.
But who cares what people but who cares? Who cares what they know?
Listen,
Marquise,
I created a job
synonymous.
for other people and I can't get one. That's crazy. I created a job for other people and I can't get one. And ain't none of the people that I helped to create a job for is even looking saying, yo, Rodney C should get a check. You know what I mean? Even if he don't get a job, he should get a check. So
right.
Whether you want to say he should know or not, in other words, all of us are saying that he is benefiting off of this culture. He should know because hip hop is the only culture that the people who gave birth to it are still alive. Think about any other genre of music. The people who brought it into fruition, they dead as a doornail right now. I don't care what genre of music you think of. The only
that's not fair. That's not fair, Roddy.
No, it's not that. Listen, it's not that I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not fair. What I'm saying to you is that the people who gave birth to it are still alive. Right. Why wouldn't you want to know about what you do well at?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because when he came into the game, it was already $1 million industry. He's into the music business. So why would he want to know about a Kool Herc? Why would he even if he even heard of a Kool Herc? So he was born into the music business, not the culture. He don't even know what the culture is. And that's not his fault because of where and when he was born.
Okay,
that's not his fault. You don't know no better. That's what I'm saying. You don't know no better. It's like you can't get mad at a baby for crying. You can't get mad at a rapper.
And that was my point. That was my point from the beginning.
But if you also don't go out and seek the information after you don't know, then the onus falls on you. Especially just hearing this conversation, it's a little jarring for me because especially knowing how, like you've all said, T.I. is about the culture and like preserving history. Like he erected an entire trap museum in Atlanta for like trap music. So it's another thing. Like he also, they differentiate trap music and hip hop, even though we know it's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
When I say the same thing, it comes from like right. It's after.
It's born out of.
Yes, well, everything is derived from hip hop, man.
It's hip hop disguised.
You know,
Marquise, you know what I see where you're going at, and I understand what you're talking about. But when it looks at a sign of time when things change, things evolve, just like man evolved. We ain't walking around like cavemen.
But you talking about business again, though. That's what I'm saying.
It's not the music.
The culture
business.
don't change though, Wes. That's my point.
They're one in the same. What they're saying is they're trying to answer the question of who cares, and that's where the disconnect is coming in. Because yes, we love hip hop, we love b-boying and graffiti. Like the fact that these property management companies can now sell these buildings in the Bronx with all the graffiti on it that people are getting arrested for is now considered like art and is raising the property value of the buildings that these people don't own. It's that gets into the whole like who cares thing. we love Rodney. We love the Cold Crush. We love Run DMC, but that's not making money. It's not getting the eyeballs, and that's how. And unfortunately, like that's how you get the money now.
But you see, that's where the gray area was with me, is because when y'all talking, everything comes back to the music business. Everything comes back to money. I'm strictly hip hop culture.
But
I can't bring that to the grocery store.
Thank you.
People
don't.
Marquise, I love it, Marquise. I'm right there with you. I'm living it. I got. It's not an MPC. I got a machine MK3 right here. My turntables are right over there. I got a SP404 right here. But at the end of the day, I've got all this stuff after learning how to finger drum and scratch and everything. Even for me to go out and try and get gigs as a DJ, it's hard for me with the hip hop culture behind me. So I can only imagine what it's like for everybody else.
What do you mean with the hip hop culture behind you though? You see that's that gray area, because
when I say I got
being used too loosely. It's being used too loosely.
If I've got the music, I'm on the mic. If I'm on the mic MCing, I've got the music that everybody moves to. It's at the end of the day, it's money. Somebody's coming behind me doing it for free. It doesn't matter if I've put thousands of dollars into the equipment I have. It's cheaper. They could get the same output from somebody else for less. That's how, like posthumous albums, like that was.
What does that have to do with hip hop?
Hey,
anything?
Marquise.
Because they use those posthumous albums, Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD. These people that have died, they're these record companies. That's all they care about, is they can grab somebody from Brooklyn, from the Bronx, wherever they are.
Record companies.
Yes.
You going back to the music business again? Everything comes
so then
back
how
to
do
the
you?
music business.
Okay,
But
so
that's where all the rise from, Marquise.
let's run this. If we sat here right now and made the best hip hop album right here, now what? Now what do we do with it?
Listen, you have to understand something. It's just like the beginning. People only do hip hop for money because there's money in it now.
Right.
In the beginning,
it's a job now.
It for money.
It's a job now.
Well, it depends on who you ask. It depends on who you ask.
It's a job
Rodney,
now.
Rodney.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. It depends.
No, it's a job.
Doing this music stuff for a hobby.
No, I do it for a hobby, brother. I do it for a hobby all day.
The record deal.
Right, but that must mean you got another job.
No, I'm retired.
Of
okay,
course.
that means you had a job.
It's
I'm
a job for people with a record deal. It's a job for people with a record deal. But and Rodney, know,
it's a job.
Rodney, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Rod. That joint you made not too long ago about I'm getting paid, or I told you I was going to get paid.
Right.
Did you make that song looking for a record deal, hoping you was going to try to get a check from it, or did you do that song because you love hip hop and you can't stop doing it and you have to do it, and it's not what you do, it's who you are? What did you make that song of? Did you really expect to make $1 million by making that song, or did you do it because you?
Actually, to be honest with you, right? Most people don't realize this.
That's a yes or no question.
No. I'm gonna answer it. I didn't do it because I was trying to make money. I did it for the love of hip hop. I did it for the love of hip hop. Okay, but at the end of the day, I still gotta make money. Right now, hear me.
But that has nothing to do with hip hop. You gotta make money. You gotta make money if you singing. If you don't do hip hop, you gotta make money. So one thing don't have nothing to do with the other.
That's my point. Right now, that's my point. Right now, 6 months ago, I couldn't buy a job. Right now, I got 5 jobs. I'm up every morning, 6:30 in the morning, in the streets, on my grind, chasing this money. Now, would I rather be doing music, making money, or whether I'd rather like getting up 6 o'clock in the morning, every morning, chasing money till I get home at 9 o'clock at night? I'd rather be doing music, right?
Okay, now, that's natural, but you made my point. So you did it. So you did it because for the love of hip hop. You did it for the culture.
I still do
you
it.
You didn't do it for a check.
No, I still do it for the love, right? Because I ain't getting no money from that, right?
That's my point.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I would rather that be my revenue stream than what I have to do right now. Now, what I was going to say to you, right? The lifespan of a song is 3 months. The lifespan of a rap artist is 3 years. If you don't make it in 3 years, it's a done deal for you, right? Hear me when
you go with that music business stuff again.
But
You go back to the music business again.
That's where we at.
No,
right?
He right. It's the truth. No, Marquis.
That's where we at, man.
Marquis,
yo, Rodney, you know why that's not true?
A lot of shows.
You know why that's not true, Rodney?
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why it's not true. Because 40 years later, 40-something years later, you still doing it. So it can't be true. You go to Katona Park, you see the parade
because I love it. I did it from the beginning because I loved it, right? But once it became a job, right? And I started this job, wait a minute. I want to get paid from that job too. So if I can get paid from that job, yeah, of course I'm still doing it because I love doing it.
Because for the culture, correct?
Right. So right now I'm working on an EP, and it's 4 songs that I've always wanted to do, and I wanted to do them as Double Trouble, but my partner KK, he don't want to do hip hop no more. So I done rewrote these joints, and I'm in the studio doing them, right? And it's not for the money, because listen, ain't nobody gonna put them out and distribute them and none of that. Let me make you laugh. Funk Master Flex got this little competition on Facebook, right? And it's submit a song, you know what I mean? And I sent the get paid track, right? Okay. All it boils down to is send me $30. Send me $30 and I'm gonna play it for a couple of people. They're gonna give you some feedback, right? So my response is, I ain't sending you a nickel. You know what I mean? Not for something I started. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna pay you to promote me. I'm not doing that. I said, now imagine me saying to you, Flex, I need you to come and do this party for me, but you gotta pay me. Do it make sense? Of course not, right? But every day I get a response from him about him lowering the price. So it went from $30 to $20, $20 to $15, $15 to $10. I'm not giving you a nickel.
Do you know how many people
giving you a nickel because I'm a hip hop legend and pioneer. I helped to give birth to what you do now. Why would I pay you for your platform? You should want to do that for me because I helped you get a job.
Can I ask you a question? How you doing, Rodney C? Can I ask you a question, brother?
Yes, you can.
All right. How many people you made happy with the gift that God gave you?
You know what?
Millions.
Listen, I'm sure it's a lot of people, right?
Okay.
I got a text message from a gentleman, right, who wanted to thank me for all the smiles that I made him have and for making his heart smile.
Right.
The message was so powerful to me that I started sending that out to other people. His same sentiments, right? But if we look at it in terms of how many people know and respect my contribution as to how many people may respect a LL or a Cardi B or whatever. 3 different lanes, right? Because of mass media, because of
you giving people too much power, Rodney.
People are the power. Listen, people are the power in our business. Listen, if we gave parties and nobody came, then what? Right? If we gave parties and nobody came, then what? I did it all for nothing. So I gotta
go back. I gotta go back because I asked you that for a reason.
Go ahead.
The reason I asked you that question was, we have to understand, okay, I love hip hop. I've been doing music for all my life. I'm making something now, you know what I mean? But I refuse to even put it on the market because it's not going to be used in a pure form the way it needs to be used.
There you go with the music business again.
Hold on. It's not a music business because I'm not getting $1 for all of this stuff I'm doing because I understand one thing, and I understand vibration. I understand what my words and what my music does to people.
That's right.
This is a lot bigger than music that we personally love. God gave us this natural born gift and talent to grab the masses. That's hip hop. That has nothing to do with $1.
Oh, I'm not saying that I want to. What I'm saying is he keeps sending me, $30, $20, 15. Nigga, I'm not giving you a nickel.
Funk Master Flex, Hot 97, they all do it. It's the same playlist scam. Send me $30, I'll add you to this playlist.
Right.
And then it's like, well, they realized like he essentially it sucks, but he almost got like priced out of the culture. We don't need you to make those hit records you do if we've got 500 kids from Germany who want to be a rapper sending us $30 a month, like for Funk Master Flex or to hear their music.
So we've been hijacked, man.
Been infiltrated, hijacked.
It's been infiltrated. I mean, hip hop. It's been. We have to call a spade a spade.
Right. I mean, so I'm saying,
that brother said he's a legend. If that was me, I'm bowing down. Give me whatever you got, God, because that's the culture. This is bigger than this job. I'm eating already. I don't need to. I mean, that's like within an inside culture vulture.
But I think that you guys are underestimating your fan base because just like
thank you, S. Bird.
I just feel like the reason why I feel like you're underestimating your fan base because I remember years ago I ran into Rakim. And I was excited. I hadn't seen him in years upon years, but I was happy to see him. I was happy to be in a club seeing Rakim. It brought back memories. So to me, I feel like you're not even giving your fan base the opportunity because you're not putting out anything. I was excited. I even seen what's his name? I can't think of the guy that had the big high top thing. What was his name back in the day?
Kwame.
Big Daddy Kane.
Oh my God. Kwame,
Big Daddy Kane, or Kid
It was one of the guys, but it was a people out there waiting to see these guys. And it was like, wow, it was really cool being in a club, watching them perform. You have to put your music out there and really say you're still here. I think that's what's lacking.
Now, you were talking about people who did well in the music business. Right? What about the Cold Crush? What about the Fantastic? What about groups?
Let me tell you the difference.
Don't even know.
Let me say the difference, Rod.
Hold on, Marquise. Right? Because she's telling you about people who did well in the business. Rakim did well. When he put out his last album, it went wood. Nobody went and bought it.
I bought it.
He probably didn't have the engine behind him to really get it to the.
But
people.
He's Rakim.
The music business.
Right.
He's Rakim. So get what I'm saying. So if you don't have that promotional will, it don't matter who you are.
Yeah, but
if you've done well already, listen. If you've done well already, then people don't mind coming to see you do your classics.
But I have to interject,
but if you
brother.
don't have any classics, I mean, you got Wild Style is a classic. I don't know how many of y'all know Wild Style, the movie, but if you ain't seen Wild Style, then you don't really know nothing about hip hop.
But I have to interject on something, man, because hold on, Marquise, one quick second, man, because you said basically, I bought Rakim, everything Rakim ever touched.
But that's you.
I love the culture.
No, I'm saying that's you.
But it's a lot of people.
But his last album with Wood, nobody bought it in terms of the industry.
I bought it, so if one person buy it, he did good, and that's what she's saying. There's a lot of people out there.
Listen, he can't live off that one sale.
Right, but
he cannot live off that one sale.
Right, he can't live off that one sale. But you have to understand. I bet it was more than one. Maybe he didn't make $1 million, but he might have made 50,000. He might have, but I'm saying, like, if he would have kept going, who knows how much he would make. Like,
no, he's getting that per show. He's still getting paid per show because he got classic hits. That's what I'm saying. It's a difference.
Right.
Right?
It may be a
Now,
slight
if he didn't have the classic hits, then he wouldn't be getting that money.
right, but how do you know that
Rodney,
you don't have? How do you know that there's not a bunch of people waiting for you, or would hear one of your songs or your movie and say, "Oh wow, they're still around."
I told you that.
You know what? I hear you. And as soon as you find them people, my phone number is 646-345. Make sure they call me. I need to link up with them because I need to get me some money.
If I link you up with these people, am I getting paid? Am I getting paid out of this whole thing?
Of course you should. If you set the deal up, if you smart enough, you'll play both sides.
I'm gonna play both sides.
You'll get some money out of them and you'll get some money out of me. Because guess what? Rodney, if you set me up with some work, you deserve to get paid.
But Rodney, that's what I told you. Can I just say something though?
Rodney, let me just add Rodney, one thing. Do you have any? You said you have a new track.
I got a whole EP I'm working on.
Okay,
I got tracks. I got tracks on YouTube and all that.
Okay,
and just like Marquis said, I don't put them out because I'm trying to get money because nobody's going to sign me. Nobody is going to.
Don't worry, but we're not talking about that. I'm saying, can you send me a link, or Marquise, can you send me a link to something new?
We'll work, and you know that. But Rodney,
let's just see what happens. What happens if we go back and we take some of this clip from tonight and we push it? I mean, all we can do is sit back and see what happens, right?
Don't sleep on her. Don't sleep on her. I'm gonna let y'all know. Don't sleep.
Throw it in the air. You gotta throw it in the air. Let me just explain something to you about music, man. Because I think we don't understand what music is. Especially hip hop. There's no difference between a nuclear bomb and hip hop. They are the same. Nobody want to think about that. A lot of things are bigger than money. We have to know who we are.
The culture is bigger than money. That's what I'm saying.
The culture is bigger than money.
But people have to eat. So I understand what Rodney is saying.
We're gonna eat. We're gonna eat.
Listen. I want to be able to die debt free, and I want to be able to leave something for my grandkids. Right now, I'm in the streets every day. 6:30 in the morning. I don't get home till 9 o'clock at night. That's not what I planned on doing. Right? My best talent is writing rhymes and hitting the mic. Ain't no more record deals for me.
Well,
but that's what I'm saying, Rodney. That's the music business. That's part of the difference. See, the music business ain't like that.
Listen to Marquise, but even listen to what he said. He's writing rhymes and like hitting the mic. Even if he was to go the independent music route and everything, he wouldn't be doing just that. Like Shanique said like before, if we take this clip and put it out and it goes viral, right then and there, he is already doing something other than rhyming. He is like hard coasting. He's a media personality now. It has to go with the evolution.
Change.
The times change. It becomes you have to. The independent music artists now they're answering their own emails, scheduling their own videos. Like they're doing everything a record label would do is now on the individual or their team, and they still have to eat.
So then let me ask you this,
you should make this go viral. Make this go viral.
Is anyone ever aware of what lo-fi hip hop is?
I'm sorry.
Has anyone ever heard? Have any of you ever heard the term lo-fi hip hop?
No.
I've never heard it.
Essentially, they're doing what it's a very Jay Dilla style.
Oh, I love that. Oh, what's the name of it? What's the name of it?
It's called lo-fi hip hop.
I like
Jay Dilla right now. I'm on it right now. See, I'm a fan.
Jay Dilla got a track. I'm in love. Hey, baby.
It is, but
I'm on it right now.
Are you going?
That was another thing that was kind of taken over. It is now a bunch of
the music business.
No, kind of like the music business. It's like it's another evolution of kind of what they're saying hip hop is.
Underground mixtape. That's all. It's just that he's got a visual aid. That's it. He's doing well with it. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of tracks, and he found another lane. You know what I mean? Jay Dilla.
Oh man.
So Rodney, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Rodney. If you think that hip hop is a young man's game, why did you even send it in the flex?
Only because I wanted to see what kind of
hip hop is a young man's game.
No, listen. I wanted to see what kind of response I would get. You know what I mean? And the response was pay me. That's the response. So my response was, I'm not giving you a nickel. Not even if I had it to give it to him, I wouldn't. Why? Because I helped to give birth to this thing. Why would I pay you to expose me when I should already be exposed?
Let me tell you why.
That's also the joke there. He was never gonna play the record.
Because let me tell you why, Rodney. Because
you created something. You created something.
Right.
Once you create something, you created something. Everybody's doing something you created.
That's right. So I should pay him.
But it ain't no money. It's bigger than money.
That's what I'm saying. So he's supposed to do it on the strength that is me.
No.
But let me tell you why, Rodney.
Go ahead.
Because
listening.
He's on the business side. He's not on the culture side. Anybody in the culture would love to hear
about that check though. Marquise, like I said, all that goes hand in hand. It's all about a check. It still may be the culture.
Not in the culture. You have to understand, in the culture, profit really wasn't a priority.
Right there, next to the other white bag. Let me. I'm gonna go back to this. Okay. Now everybody needs a job and needs to get money. You know Muhammad, right? Who runs the security?
Of course.
Who that? Tabby? That's Tabby.
You think he doing it for the culture? Yeah, that's me.
My man. All right.
You think he doing it? You think Muhammad doing it for the culture?
Yep. Let me tell you why. He's still getting listen to me. If Bambaataa said, "I need you to stand here, but you can't pay. I can't pay you right now," he'll still do it. I don't even know if he gets paid for Cortona Park. He be there every Thursday. I can't speak his business, but yes, I do. I could be wrong, but yes, I do.
Yeah, but it's still a check. Those brothers still get paid. You know, I know them quite well. Them brothers get paid. They not doing this for free. You have to have some type of income to take care of your family. We can love music all we want. We can love the culture, but at the end of the day, it still comes to a check, even though we still love to do it. You got people that love to play baseball.
That depends on who you ask.
But you know what though, Wes? I got, man, listen, man. We all are melanated people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't need money from nobody.
Talk about it.
We don't need no money. No, you don't. You need me, I need you. We don't need no money.
We both broke, so how do we eat?
No, we are never broke.
No, I'm saying, think about it. Listen, if we can't deal in the marketplace, then how do we eat?
We are never broke.
Play the game. You don't want to play the game. You got to play the game.
You got to.
You don't want to play the game.
Let's not get off subject. Let's not get off subject. Let's not get off subject.
I helped create this game. Why I need to play?
Because you need to get back into the music industry.
No, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm good. I'm living okay, right? So I'm just saying. I would like, you know what I mean, to be able to see a check from this thing. You know what I mean? But if I don't ever get it, I'm cool.
And your song is on the soundtrack. You got plenty of traction. Snowfall, for y'all don't know, his song was on the soundtrack. What season and episode, Rob?
It was season 2, episode 1.
I can even get a young rapper and battle Rodney.
Thank you.
That'll be the prime example of old school,
versus new school
rap battle.
She's on to something. She's on to something.
Listen,
she is on to something.
Generate things like
we about to get a check.
Listen, this is what I'm saying.
You got more traction than you know, brother.
Yeah, man. I think, honestly, Rodney.
Still got some 16s, yo. That's all I need you to know.
Hey, Rodney, all I'm going to say is, I believe, in my heart, I believe, brother, God doesn't make mistakes. And she is absolutely right. I think your career is just starting to go. This is something different we're dealing with. Yes.
Right,
welcome to the golden ages, baby. This is the golden ages.
I'm not afraid of anything. What I'm saying is, right?
I'm saying I'm afraid of something new.
Marquise hit it on the head. My generation, my era, we are considered the bitter foe. Everybody in that fold is bitter, right?
Well, maybe you should be bitter. Maybe.
No, I'm just saying this is how people perceive us. If you speak to some of us, you will get that vibe, and people just tend to want to stay away, right? At one time, I was bitter, but it wasn't with people; it was with the industry. When I left the Funky and I started Double Trouble, and I wrote, here's a little story that must be told about rebels that were on hold. They trying to hold us back for fortune and fame. They destroyed the crew and they killed our name. They try to do on our egos, walk on our pride. True blue brothers stand side by side. Through thick and thin from beginning to end. The battle we lost, but the war will win. Cause Double Trouble is in the house. That's, I wrote that lyric against the industry. Had nothing to do with people and all of that, right? I'm glad that there's an industry that grew out of what I helped to give birth to, right? Would I appreciate people understanding who I am, respecting my contribution? Of course. But I know it's more people who don't know me than that do know me.
And I understand. Don't know you. That's the difference now.
Say that again.
I said now the difference is we can make people who don't know you now.
No, and that's fine. But I don't want it to be like
it doesn't matter.
I don't want it to be as if I'm mad that people don't know me, because I'm not mad anymore.
But it's not about, see, this is what we have to understand as people. People are going to think whatever they want to think. Right? We cannot change their mind. This is a movement. We can't worry about
it's what you give them and how you give it to them. That's
why you don't worry about them. You don't worry about them.
You can't worry about them, but I'm putting it out there, not you. So the difference is I'm asking.
I'm not worried about it.
Right, but my point is
I'm okay.
Right, but you're not asking the question. I'm asking the question. So it's not like you put out a video and you're asking, this is toxic. We're asking the question, is rap a young man's sport? We got an old man here that started it. Should he just walk away? Boom, T.I. doesn't know him. There's so many questions that can come from this, and it doesn't show that you're bitter. It's the fact that we're asking these questions because we want to know.
Absolutely.
Hey, I just come up with an idea. Rodney, I gotta ask you a question here. What's that that last song on that Wild Style on the Wild Style album? I cannot think of it. And I think of that if anybody was to redo that now to this time, because that breakbeat was hot. Matter of fact, it's on there twice. I think
Can I shoot my gum?
You know how many tracks have been sampled and redone over by artists? You know what I mean? That wasn't a part of Wild Style.
Oh yeah.
There's a track on there called Down by Law. That was a track that most people use. Big Daddy Kane did a track off. There's a couple of artists that actually use that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got some like I got an EP that I'm working on, right? It's only 4 songs that I've wanted to put out with me and JK. He decided, he threw his gloves in, he ain't with it no more. I said, well, you know what? I still love what I do. You know what I mean? It don't matter. I could go into a house party. If they got a microphone, I'm going to get on it. It don't matter. If you Google me, you'll find a lot of little stuff that I've done. You know what I mean? I used to do the same rhymes, right? And the reason being is because I felt that I had got raped by the industry. And I refused to give the world anything new. I got crazy rhymes. I just wouldn't give
and listen, I'm a witness. The last Wild Star reunion, what was that, 2 years ago, Rodney, at the amphitheater?
Yeah.
Yo, he tore it up. Remember, I came to you at the table. I said, yo, you ain't lose a step. And then I gave you a hat, remember?
That's right.
I was at Cat's table. Yo, the dude still got it. That's what I mean. It's not a young man's game. Just because you get older don't mean you lose skills. The dude got it. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, I still got it. You know what I mean? I still got it, but we just in a whole different area now.
But that don't matter. You still have your fan base. You still, but look, even this, You see, when you talking about the music business, when it comes to music business, everybody has their time. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, Alicia Keys had her time. Lauryn Hill had her time. You know what I mean? Beyonce, I guess she still has her time. So when it comes to the music business, everybody has their time. So you can't judge from that. But when it comes to the culture, that's everlasting. You know what I mean? Because that's just how the music business is. You hot now, forgot about tomorrow. But when it comes to the culture, you always number one. Always.
The only thing I have to say about that is if it's not carried on, the story isn't carried on, and the new people, the stewardess of hip hop, don't know who he is. Now the lo-fi hip hop, all the stuff from the past 20 years is the history that they know, and that's what they're gonna carry on.
And tell your history again, Rodney. Tell them first group on Sugar Hill. You know what I mean? All of them joints. I mean, on Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? Man, they just don't know.
Listen, we set so many precedents in the industry, but they don't know. Now, I would have thought, like right now, the Furious Five, they got inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That should be us too. Not only that, they get ready to be inducted into something else, right? That should be us too.
Right? Like the Grammys or something, right?
Yeah.
I seen that.
So now, the reason why they're being inducted is because they got hit records. We're not being inducted because we don't have hit records. Now, the reason why we don't have hit records is because of the record companies. Most people don't realize Wild Style originally was going to be a documentary on the Funky Four. There wouldn't have been no Wild Style the way it is. It would have been a documentary on the Funky Four. Sylvia Robinson didn't want us to do the documentary because it would have taken the cover off the lie that she had told the world. And the lie she told the world was she gave birth to hip hop, that she gave birth to rap music, right? So she created a group. They the Milli Vanilli of the rap industry.
Y'all know who that is, right?
She put them guys together, right?
Yep.
Most people don't even know how that even happened.
Nah, I don't know who that is. Who?
Sugar Hill Gang, man.
Sugar Hill Gang.
Okay.
Sugar Hill Gang.
I'm just trying to be clear. You know, I want to be clear because
so now,
I want to know.
Now that we're talking about it, I'm gonna tell you the story.
This is why we doing this knowledge.
Okay.
This is why we doing it. Hi,
Sylvia
Auntie.
Robinson. Listen, Sylvia Robinson went to a birthday party for one of her nieces. The birthday party was held in Harlem World. Lovebug Starsky was the DJ. God bless the dead. He was DJing at the party. Lovebug Starsky is from that disco era. And in that disco era, the DJ rapped and played the music at the same time, right? That's what that disco era, right? We separated when you get to hip hop. You get MCs and then you get DJs, right? Because all DJs couldn't rap while they played, right? And then somebody picked up the mic and talked for the DJ. That's what we did in the hip hop arena. Lovebug Starsky is playing at Harlem World, and he's playing Freedom. Dun, 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 dun. And he's doing his little, you know, whatever he doing, his little his little Lovebug thing, right? And Sylvia's looking at this dude in amazement, like, oh my God, that should be on a record, right? She went home and cut Freedom. So now, who ends up with the Freedom track? Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, right? After she cut the Freedom track, she approached Lovebug, tried to get Lovebug to sign to her, and he wouldn't. He wouldn't sign to her because he knew her history, and we didn't, right? Flash and them didn't either. But when she signed Flash and them, she gave them the Freedom track. Now, when Lovebug wouldn't sign, What's the track that they use for Sugar Hill's record?
Good Times?
Good Times.
Good Times is the hottest thing on the radio. Good times. These are the good times. Big record, big disco record, right? Okay. Sylvia Robinson loved pizza. Sylvia Robinson went into the local pizza shop, right? Big Bank Hank is working in the pizza shop making pizzas. But
Yeah,
Big Bank Hank is the bouncer at one of the clubs that the Cold Crush used to play at in the Bronx, the Sparkle, right? He in there reciting Kaz's rhymes, right? Because our cassette tapes was our records. You buy a cassette tape, you gonna master that tape. You listen to it enough, you gonna learn all the words. He in the pizza shop making pizza, doing Kaz rhymes, and she heard him. She said, "Hey, you want to make a record?" What's his response?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Right? Okay. In the meantime, her son is going to school. Her oldest son, Joey, was going to school with Wonder Mike. They in the same class. Wonder Mike in there doing his little disco rhymes. Joey run home, mommy, I got a friend who can rhyme. Take Joey to the house. Take Mike to the house, and he pretty much auditioned for her. Master G heard through the grapevine that she was trying to make a rap record, and he had a little rhyme or whatever. Master G used to work out, so he had a nice little tight physique and all that. She liked that. So now she got a dilemma. She only want one person on the record because that's what she heard. She heard Love Bug by himself, but she couldn't pick between the three of them. So she said, well, we're going to go in and I'm going to cut this record on all three of y'all. Vanilli. This is how that record comes about. This record had to be first. And the reason why I say it had to be first, because it was the ABCs of hip hop. It was the nursery rhymes of hip hop. Flash, the Funky, Cold Crush, Fantax, we light years ahead of them. Because we've been doing it 4, 5, 6 years already. So our rhymes ain't on that little popcorn peanut nonsense that they was doing. Have you ever went over a friend's house to eat and the food no good? Macaroni soggy, the peas all mush, and the chicken tastes like wood. We way past that. We not doing none of that. But the world wouldn't have been ready for a Furious 5. Italian, Caucasian, Japanese, Spanish, Indian, Negro, Vietnamese. World wouldn't have been ready for that. Melly Mel would have been too much for the world to handle. So we needed that little popcorn thing to open the door. Unfortunately, fortunately, they opened the door, right? Unfortunately, it wasn't one of us, right? So, because this is her brainchild, she wants the world to believe she is the queen of hip hop. She gave birth to this. She don't want the world to know the truth. Okay, now, we are approached by Charlie Ahern and Fab Five Freddy to do a documentary on, the Funky. Why? Because we're their introduction to hip hop, right? Somehow they find out about us. They come to the Valley. We doing the Valley uptown, and it had an amphitheater. That's why at the end of Wild Style,
the Valley, Spring Valley.
No, the Valley up on in Baychester.
Okay.
That's a different Valley, Bob.
Right. So
I had to say it. I had to say it.
We performing on this amphitheater, and Charlie says, I want to do a documentary on y'all. We're like, all right, but we're in the middle of making the transition from Enjoy Records to Sugar Hill Records. So by the time we get to Sugar Hill Records, we signed everything: management, production, publishing, everything with Sugar Hill. So we basically got our hands
360.
We can't say if we can do this. They got to go through the label now, right? So they reach out to Sylvia and say, we want to do a documentary on the group, right? She said, nah, I don't want them to be in no documentary. Why? Because it would have unveiled that lie that she had been perpetrating, that she gave birth to this, because it would have let the world know that this thing had been going on way before the Sugar Hill Gang came into existence.
Right.
Okay. Charlie and Freddie want us to do this documentary so bad that they reach out to Blondie, right, the group Blondie, and ask Deborah Harry, could she allow us to be her musical guest on Saturday Night Live?
This is what I told you earlier, S. Bird.
She said yes, and they went back to Sugar Hill and said, listen, if we get them on Saturday Night Live, will you let them do this documentary? She ain't stupid. She said, yeah, if you get them on Saturday Night Live, I'll let them do the documentary. We do Saturday Night Live, and then she say, nah, I don't want them to do the documentary. That's what broke up the group. You know what I mean? So she did everything in her power to keep that lie that she told to the world covered up. Everybody know the truth now, right? But it don't matter now because she destroyed a lot of lives along the way, only because she wanted to be the queen of hip hop. She gave a deal to my ex-wife and her group, the Sequence.
Sequence, I was gonna ask you about that.
South Carolina, right?
Yo, tell him, let him know, Rock. It's relevant. S. Bird want to know. I know she want.
Okay, my ex-wife
she don't know
right now, her name is Angie Stone. She's the R&B singer who is with a rap group called The Sequence, who comes out of South Carolina.
Wait,
they put out a
Angie Stone.
Angie Stone.
They put out
she would want to know. I told you.
They put out a single. It was called "Funk You Up," and
my joint.
It went gold for them, right? But here's a rap group, right? And they wasn't really a rap group. They was a singing group that had rapping in their songs, right? And it went gold for them. So she in the process of making hit makers. She's a hit maker, right? The world it's brand new to the world, but we've been doing it in New York for years. So what she had to do was she had to scout out everybody that could expose her lie. She signed everybody. She signed the Furious. She signed the Funky. She signed Spoonie G. She signed the Treacherous 3. She signed the Crash Crew. She signed even a Spanish group, Mean Machine. Wepa, wepa. She was signing everybody just so that she could keep control of the media. Because as long as she had everybody sign to them, they can't do interviews or nothing without her permission.
Right.
So she monopolized the business. And at the same time, she destroyed a whole lot of lives. People say to me, well, you know, she's dead now and you should say something nice. And my thing is, you're supposed to say something good about the dead. She dead, good.
I wanted to thank everybody for keeping their word, being men and women, and giving me enough respect and the culture enough respect. Because if I would have just said, call me at a certain time, I would have never heard from y'all Negroes. Maybe except for Junebug or S. Bird. I'm just keeping it real. Rodney would have hit me up too. But through the culture of hip hop, it brought us together again. And I want to thank y'all. So, Clefmatic, you got anything you want to add or say or input or anything?
Rodney, I appreciate you, man.
It's the young genius, y'all. By the way, that's the
boots
genius.
on the ground, man. It's gonna like you said. All I know is it's gonna take a village.
That's it.
All right,
you're right.
I'm gonna be right, man. And I got a lot of respect for you, brother. What about you, West Fresh?
Rodney, I appreciate that. Them stories, and I've been around, long time too. So I appreciate that's something that brought us back. And those stories you're telling, People want to hear them. People always want to hear stories.
That's what I'm saying. That's your fan base, brother.
Yeah, people
long form content is king right now.
Well, yeah, Rodney, you just
especially at this point
I
right
wasn't
here.
familiar with you, and now I'm a fan, and I'll be looking into your stuff tonight.
That's right. Can you play something real quick? Can you play something real quick? Can you type something up, maybe the theme song, so we can rock out on it, literally rock out? S-Bird?
Oh, you're saying, oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were talking to Rodney.
No, you from what I sent you earlier. Yeah, let's rock out to that, because he was supposed to be asleep 2 hours ago.
All right.
But that's
True that.
Rodney, I got nothing but love for you, brother. And I thank you.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah, man.
Right, so we're gonna rock out. Listen, I'm gonna link.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm gonna link you and S-Bird. Y'all need to talk, man, because S-Bird, she's that woman. You heard?
I hear you.
She's that woman, for real.
All right.
All right, so let's rock out to anybody else. West Fresh, Bug, y'all got something y'all want to add before we rock out?
I just want to say, man, you know, I remember that time you and I were in Egypt and how hip hop hit us, and this was in the 80s, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we are in control of our own future, you know, because of brothers like Rodney. You know, thank you for keeping me at a high vibration, brother. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you did. It's bigger than money. Trust me. You kept me on a high vibration.
But it was never about money for me. That's why, you know what I mean? I can be on this conversation today. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I was in love with this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And I fell out of love with it once the business got into it. And because I didn't understand the business or how to do the business, I got frustrated with it and I pulled myself out. I used to say, if I only knew then what I know now, you know what I mean? And I contemplated all the stuff that I would have done and whatever. But I understand that everything that I've been through, I was supposed to go through.